A very good evening to you. In our news, a gun amnesty in 2 years before murder accused are eligible for bail are some of the measures taken to curb crime. The Liquor License Act to be repealed. Barbadians urged to know their family's medical history. And in sports, Barbados stays hot at the Jean-Pierre Under-16 netball competition over in Antigua.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC News Night, starting now.
In our top story, significant developments in the House of Assembly tonight, which address the island's burgeoning crime situation. They include a gun amnesty and a lengthy period before eligibility for bail for those charged with murder. Our Ryan Broom is live with that story now. Good evening to you, Ryan.
Good evening, Lisa. Good evening, viewers. Now, a lot of concern has been expressed about the crime situation in Barbados, especially those involving firearms. Well, government is responding by beefing up its approach to tackling gun crime. During today's parliamentary debate, Attorney General Dale Marshall announced a one-week gun amnesty will soon be launched, along with significant amendments to the Bail Act. The amnesty will allow Barbadians to hand over illegal firearms to the police without being subjected to questioning. And Attorney General Dale Marshall says it is a chance for offenders to do the right thing.
You have a week. Yes. A week, sir. Yes. Anybody who has in their possession an unlawful firearm or ammunition, the amnesty runs from Sunday 7th of April 2019 until Saturday 13th April 2019 at midnight. At midnight, sir, gloves are off. This amnesty, for the avoidance of doubt, relates to firearms, parts of firearms, and ammunition, sir.
Mr. Marshall notes gun crime and the number of people granted bail for firearm offences has increased significantly over the years.
In 2017, we had 45 persons charged with firearm released on bail, and 6 people charged with murder. 6. In 2018, we had 38 people charged with firearm offenses released on bail. And in the same year, sir, 9 people charged with murder were also released on bail. And thus far for the year, at the same time, sir, that we have 12 gun-related homicides for the year, coincidentally, we have 12 people charged with firearm offenses being released on bail.
However, the Attorney General stresses those days are over, as an individual with a murder charge will only be able to apply for bail after 2 years.
If you want to go and shoot somebody and feel that you could go up and be back out in a few months on bail and be a celebrity, think again. Now, after the 24-month period, you are now entitled to apply for bail. But my job is to make sure that after the 24-month period, you are either convicted or acquitted.
The amendments also seek to get the trials for indictable offences heard under 12 months. They will also see the Director of Public Prosecutions having to be notified of bail applications at least 72 hours before they are made. Well, as you can see there, Lisa, some really major and strong measures the government is taking to tackle the issue of gun crime and repeat offenders when it comes to those incidents.
And Ryan, as with every rule, there are always exceptions. Now, there are some special circumstances under which someone can apply for bail in less than the stipulated 2 years.
Yeah, under 2 years, if it is a case of self-defense, that's definitely one case where consideration would be given to granting bail within that 24-month period. Also, if it is found during the course of that period, that 24-hour period, that 24-month period, that the case is weak for whatever reason, that a case has not been able to be made, that the murder can go forward, and that the bail would be available. But in addition to that, though, Prime Minister Mia Moore-Motley has also weighed in. She's made it clear that her government is putting the necessary measures in place to deal with the upsurge in violent crime. And she's giving strong support to the Attorney General. The Prime Minister says it's not the intention of her administration to preside over the self-destruction of Barbados.
What lies before us is a determination that we need to be able to manage our families, our communities, and our country in such a way that people understand that violence under any rubric, but particular gun violence, is something that should be banished from these shores if all right-thinking Barbadians can work together to do so.
And Prime Minister Motley says the majority of serious offences are being committed by young Barbadians. She wants children to be taught that with every choice, there is a consequence.
Too often, sir, we are lamenting that this young person or this person wants to be given another chance because they didn't realize what they were doing.
We can give them.
Sir, I want to believe that the government which we lead will be balanced. We are going to give our people every possibility of development.
Meanwhile, there's a warning tonight that the amendments to the Bail Act could have implications for overcrowding at the island's lone prison. Opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley sounded the caution, although saying he supports the changes to the legislation. He's also suggesting that the measure should be reviewed after a time to determine its impact.
We've had problems with overcrowding in Barbados before. We know of the Glendaria experience. Built a new prison to accommodate in better circumstances, larger numbers, which I hear is already a challenged situation. And if you are denying people bail, you have to house them somewhere securely. And you have to plan, perhaps, therefore, for increased numbers and take into consideration your capacity.
Bishop Atherley also commented on the gun amnesty.
If amnesty is where you want to go, it's worked some places and other places not work. And if that's where you want to go, well, fine. I don't know that I understand that a week is long enough, but we'll see what happens. But Mr. Speaker, in short and in essence, I support my learned friend from St. Joseph in bringing this measure here today.
In other news from the House, Parliament is also debating legal changes that will affect the way appointments across the public service are made. Leading off debate in the lower house on the Constitutional Amendment No. 2 bill, Prime Minister Mia Moore-Motley announced the creation of a Protective Services Commission.
That brings in one place those persons who will help with the management and supervision of the terms and conditions and the career path development or development path of a number of people who belong in the same type of areas. The police, the prison service, the customs, the immigration, the fire service, the security guards. And Mr. Speaker, we believe that by so doing, that we should also create a chairman that can function virtually full-time.
Ms. Motley says within a year or so, government intends to set up a teaching service commission,
which will also be responsible for taking another 4,500 persons out of the Public Service Commission. But because we know that is where we are going, we have taken the opportunity at this point in time to change the Public Service Commission to what remains. And that is, Mr. Speaker, an Administrative, General and Professional Services Commission that will then deal with the remaining categories of workers, which should come out to be about another 5,000-6,000 persons.
That bill was passed. Well, as you see, Lisa, a full day in the House of Assembly, two major pieces of constitutional amendments that were made.
What's Trending is brought to you by Trident Insurance. We treat you like family.
And we say good evening now to Lisa Broom, who is in our social media corner. Good evening, Lisa.
Hi, good evening, Lisa. So here's what's trending tonight. Now, yesterday was All Fool's Day, and it seems as though many Barbadians, including us here in the newsroom, admittedly were the victims of a prank, although I'm not sure how funny it really was. So it involved a short clip, only about 12 seconds long, seemingly showing a young man bleeding from his mouth and stomach, the victim of a stabbing. But a check with police revealed no official report of any such incident. And the young man posted this video later, admitting that it was all a hoax.
But yeah, people, today's April Fool's Day, and it was a prank. He ain't that serious, I ain't getting stabbed, nothing.
Well, police also confirmed that they had identified the young man and had spoken with him. Now, I think the whole country breathed a sigh of relief at the news that the teenage girl involved in a serious accident in Woodbourne in St. Philip around 7 last night is now listed in stable condition at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. 16-year-old Shakola Applewhite, a student of the Graydon Seeley Secondary School, was struck by a motor van while crossing the road. The school took to its Facebook page to thank those who prayed for the young woman, who is now on the road to recovery. And while the journey may be long, the school believes Shakola is a fighter. Now, there's been an outpouring of support on that post, but this comment from Corinne Boxall caught our eye. She posted a prayer from her 9-year-old daughter, which read, "Dear God, I don't know the girl that got knocked down, but I'm begging you not to call her home just yet. She's just 16. Please let her finish studying, enjoy life, and live to a very old age, and then you can call her home. In Jesus' name, amen." Amen for that little girl as well. Now, television personalities are subject to a lot of attention from viewers. Viewers, you all, yes, you notice everything. You notice our hair, our nails, our makeup, what we wear, or in the case of longtime host of CBS's Inside Edition, Deborah Norville, it could be something a little bit more serious. Take a look.
A long time ago, an Inside Edition viewer reached out to say she'd seen something on my neck. It was a lump. Well, I'd never noticed the thing, but I did have it checked out, and the doctor said it was nothing, a thyroid nodule. And for years it was nothing, until recently it was something. The doctor says it's a very localized form of cancer.
Norville also revealed that she was scheduled to have surgery to remove the lump today. So thank you very much, viewers. Keep looking and keep telling us. And we certainly wish her a speedy recovery. Now, yesterday in Newsnight, we shared a story which indicated that bright lights are causing 95% of baby turtles to head inland rather than towards the sea. Well, the good news is that thousands are rescued thanks to the tireless efforts of the Barbados Sea Turtle Project. And in a recent episode of BBC's Blue Planet Live, they focused on 6 protected baby turtles as they were released back into the sea. But viewers locked on to the final minutes of the show watched in horror as the unexpected happened. If you look carefully, you can see a seagull, which can be seen on the beach just behind the presenter, while it runs in and scoops up one of the baby turtles. David Godfrey, executive director of the Sea Turtle Conservatory, says that's exactly why hatchlings usually emerge from their nests at night when they're less visible to predators. Well, that's all the time we have for What's Trending this evening. Of course, you can find us easily on Facebook, Instagram, and by email. So we will see you tomorrow, Lisa. A pretty serious night tonight.
It's true. Thank you so much, Lisa. Knowing your family history could possibly help save your life. The suggestion from Dr. Marcia Cambridge Maxwell, as increased focus is being placed on colon cancer. The medical professional is encouraging Barbadians to get to know their family history, noting that if people know that they are at risk, that information will assist them in the long run. And her comments came as the Mile and a Quarter Seventh-day Adventist Church hosted dinner with the doctor.
People don't like to say what the grandfather had, what this buddy had, and persons die and you don't know what they had. So, but it's very important for us to know what our ancestors had and what is our what we are at risk of developing. So it's important to tell persons what you have. I still have patients today who don't want us to tell their children and anybody else what they have, and because they tell us we can't, we can't. So some persons die, and even in death, we still have to respect the confidentiality, and we can't tell them. So we just have to say they were coming here for a bit, a while, and we were treating them, and they know it's a cancer treatment department, but we can't be any more specific than that.
And Dr. Cambridge Maxwell also wants people to look back at their bowel movement and learn the telltale symptoms. She says that this can help the early detection of colon cancer.
So if you find you're going to the toilet and you have a bit more urgency, so before you even get there, the stool starts to come down, you cannot control it. Or when you go to the toilet, you feel like you're not finished, but nothing else is coming. All right. So any kind of change, any kind of disruption in your bowel movement, the consistency. Today you have soft stools, tomorrow you have firm stools. If you have to strain and any feeling of incompleteness or anything like that, you need to get a medical checkup.
Well, the health of Barbadians has been in focus in recent years, with some startling statistics being revealed by the various health agencies. Most recently, the unflattering designation by an international agency that Barbados is the 5th unhealthiest country in the world. Now, the Barbados National Registry for Chronic Non-Communicable Diseases is one of the agencies concerned with these types of situations. And Registrar Shelly-Ann Ford joins us tonight to talk about some of what they've been seeing as the registry focuses on stroke, heart attack, and cancer. Mrs. Ford, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And I want to start by looking at strokes first.
Okay.
Now, we're averaging about 2 per day, which equals about 60 a month. How concerned is the registry about that?
We are concerned about it. We don't like to say that the numbers are increasing because we want a longer period to decide something like that. But we would say they're not decreasing, which they're doing in developing countries, and that's of concern to us.
Where are we with heart conditions?
We register about 1 heart attack a day, about 400 heart attacks a month.
And the situation with the various cancers?
The latest data we have is 2013, and we would have registered 800 cases of cancer in that year.
Predominant cancer?
The top is prostate, followed closely by breast.
Okay, and I know about 2 years ago we had some sudden deaths. And did the registry investigate those situations?
So the registry would not have been involved in investigating that directly. But the Ministry of Health did look into it, and they did look and say that there were no increases in sudden deaths when they looked at the coroner's reports. But what we are concerned, again, is about the heart attacks and stroke numbers in the country.
And obviously NCDs, they play a role with regards to heart attack and strokes. What about stress?
Stress is one of the risk factors, but more concerning to us as Barbadians are the others, which is obesity, hypertension, diabetes, binge drinking. Those things are of more concern than stress in these cases.
Really? Yeah. Okay. And I know that your registry has an anniversary coming up. You have some special activities planned.
Yeah, so this is our 10th anniversary. And we have 2 final activities coming up. On Thursday, we have a live stream event hosted by the University TV, UETV, where Minister Cattle from the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Mr. Gill from the Ministry of Health, Planning and Research Unit, and Professor Carl Theodore, there'll be a panel sharing some information. We want the public to join in the discussion through uitv.org. Post some questions and share their thoughts with us. And then on Friday, we have a free public lecture at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. We want the public to get there around 5:15. They can view the sponsor booths, get free giveaways, free health checks. And then we're sharing, Dr. Harold Watson is sharing more about how to know your symptoms, where you should go if you think you're having a heart attack or a stroke. We have free CPR demonstration by Regal Development. Professor Theodore will be back to talk to us more about what these NCDs are actually costing us as a household and as a nation. So we want the public to come out and hear this information.
And we thank you for coming out to join us. Thank you so much. That's Shelly-Ann Ford, Registrar of the Barbados National Registry for Chronic Non-Communicable Diseases. Well, on to regional news now. Guyana's President David Granger has received and accepted the resignation of all APNU AFC coalition members of parliament who hold dual citizenship. Now, the MPs are Guyanese American Minister of State Joseph Harmon and Guyanese Britain's Rupert Roopnarine, Carl Greenidge and Dominic Gasking. These members will not be returning to the National Assembly when it reconvenes on April the 11th. The government says it is committed to upholding the Constitution of Guyana and, by extension, the March 22nd ruling of the Court of Appeal. That ruling related to the December 21st, 2018 motion of no confidence, which was brought against the government. Well, in Jamaica, Gloucester Avenue in Montego Bay was renamed Jimmy Cliff Boulevard in honor of an icon who has been an ambassador of Jamaican music and culture for almost 4 decades.
It is our pleasure, our honor, to honor Jimmy Cliff tonight. Will you please stand?
I'm very thankful for this honor. I want to thank all people that have spoken before. Minister Grange, Minister Bartlett, the mayor, the councillor, deputy mayor. I thank you all. It's highly appreciated by me. I thank my beloved wife, our 2 children, Lilty and Aken, and all my family. I'm eternally grateful for the support that you've been giving me over these years. Indeed, it was many rivers to cross. It was so hard to find my way over. Wandering I've been lost as I traveled along the white cliffs of Dover. Indeed, it has been.
There are additional plans to pay homage to the reggae icon.